Ohtani goes 0 for 4 last night, but is he still on track for the 50-50 season? A remainder of the games left, 22 games left. We're going to talk about, is that in the Dodgers' favor? I believe it is, but we'll get into that. Anaheim puts Shohei's resume up on the board for all to see. Pitching does win championships. So I want to talk about that too as well, and all the news about Dodger pitching all coming up for you. This is Dodger Digest. Brad J with you, bringing the show to you. Subscribe on YouTube if you're watching this for the first time, second time, third time, and you haven't subscribed. What are you waiting for? There's like 80% of you who have not stepped up to the plate and hit one out. Okay, so subscribe. Tell your friends, get on there, and we'll give you daily content. Myself and Mike Nelson breaking down the Dodgers, especially with 22 games left. Let's get into it. Whoa, that game sucked last night. My goodness. Mike Nelson, fellow announcer, he went to that game, and we all know when you go to a game like that, when your team loses 10-1, that's a tough one. Moment of silence for Mike and dealing with that loss. Okay, let's go on. Let's talk about what happened. Well, here's what Dave Roberts had to say on what happened. Okay? It's got to be better. And Bobby knows that. You can't go out there and give up 5 runs and put us behind the 8 ball. Meaning, look, and what Dave Roberts doesn't even cover right there is he says, yeah, give up 5 runs and put us behind the 8 ball. But that's the first inning. So 5, that's a lot, man. So, all right, let's get past it. Let's move on. And let's not even talk about that loss. Let's get rid of that loss. Let's wipe it away from the knowledge banks that we had to witness that thing. Tough one for sure. And Bobby, if you're trying to make a case for yourself right there to be on the playoff roster, that does not look good. Coming out and doing that. I mean, he's a young guy. It's like, we'll see what happens. I love the way Buehler was able to come back and show that he can pitch and be ready to go. And he's primed for the postseason. And I got some news I want to talk about. I've talked about it a while ago. People thought I was crazy, but I want to bring it up with the possibility of Shohei possibly pitching this season and not waiting till next season if they needed him. Okay, that's not going to happen. Well, let's keep going on that, shall we? Here is what they put on the board at Angels Stadium when Ohtani came up to bat on the first day. Check this out. Look at the resume. Used to work here. That's funny, all right? I gotta give him credit. When I used to work for the Dodgers, you work inside the booth where you put all these graphics up and we played the music and what have you there. But to do that, I think that shows good humor, and that's awesome that baseball did that. Ohtani used to work here. That's good. That's just, I don't know. That's just good stuff. All right, speaking of Ohtani, the quest for MLB's first 50-50 season, is he still on pace? Brad J, is he on pace? Well, a lot of people wonder. I mean, you go 0 for 4, it doesn't really help your case. That's also why I was saying that he needs to start hitting more home runs so pitchers don't start just walking him towards the end of the season, because nobody wants to be the dude that gave up the 50th home run that puts him in the record books and puts him among baseball immortal. So who wants to be that guy for that, right? All right, so what is the pace going on? How high can he go? Here's a look at the home run, stolen base pace, and potential context. I got this from MLB, and here's what they're saying. Okay, Ohtani through 140 team games, 44 home runs, 46 stolen bases. Okay, that is what I'm talking about as far as the home runs go. Because you look at that right there, and you've got to get the home runs. You need the home runs. The home runs is the most important equation here, because all you have to do is walk to get on base or get a single or whatever to have that chance to get that stolen base. And you're only 4 shy of that. So I feel like that's a done deal. He's going to get the 50, but it's the home run. Here's the pace. They're saying 51. So only 1. So that's not room for error. So you got to come out. Shohei's got to come out, and he's got to put it together. and make it happen and get some more home runs, because if you don't start getting some more home runs right now, you're going to have some problems trying to get there. Now let's take a look at the club right here. Here's the club that he currently belongs to, the 40-40 club. And you see him on top, 44 home runs, 46 stolen bases. Look at Ronaldo Acuna Jr. with the 41 and 73 stolen bases. Look at that. That was a number right there. And in 2006, Alfonso Soriano, 41 and 46. A-Rod, a 42-46 season for him. And Barry Bonds juiced up 42 and 40 for Bonds. And Canseco, 1988, 42 and 40. And that was the year that the A's with Canseco went to the World Series, and the Dodgers beat them in the World Series with Kirk Gibson hitting the home run. Okay? Anytime I see that stat, I'm going to bring that up. Okay, so there you go. Can he do it? It goes back to this. He's got to start hitting home runs. All right? Against Cleveland coming up, you have some games going. You got to get some home runs in, because the longer it goes, with 22 games left on in the season for Shohei at this point, you're going to see a situation where they're not going to want to pitch to him. And obviously, if you don't pitch to Shohei, you got to deal with Mookie, and we saw how that worked out too the other night, right? You don't necessarily want to do that. If you don't want to pitch to him, you want to pitch to the guy after Mookie. Well, that's going to be Freddie Freeman, so there's your problem there. Can't walk them all, but it's about Shohei getting to the 50-50 mark, and that's what I'm thinking. Okay, now people have thought that I'm crazy on Shohei. Okay, just sit down for this. All right, you sitting down? That Shohei could possibly pitch in the postseason for the Dodgers this year. This year, I'm talking. You see all the woes. You see all the pitching problems going on right now. You see every single one of them. Starters dropping left and right like a Mike Tyson opponent when Mike was in his prime. That's pretty funny. So, would he do that? Would the Dodgers have him pitch? Love this. I'm telling you, every day that gets closer to the end of the season, I keep thinking, there's a freaking chance that they could use him. And even though they say, no, we're not using him, Dodgers could use him. All right, let's go over what he did. Let's everyone refresh, okay? Time to refresh. Hit the refresh button. Ohtani threw 10 pitches in the bullpen. He did that on Saturday, okay? So now we're approaching, a week going off here. Going to be a week soon. He threw off the mound, having elbow surgery. That's the first time he had done that. Came out of the session feeling super good, and will throw off the mound again in about a week, give or take a few days. Okay, which a week is going to be this upcoming Saturday. If he takes the mound and throwing pitches, is that going to be enough to make him feel good? Okay, now, just hear me out. You're like, don't be negative yet. The plan has always been for Ohtani to ramp up, then face live hitters in practice settings before the end of the season. So you hear that? So why would you let him face live hitters if he really, obviously he's one of the most important pieces to the Dodgers? Why would you let him face live hitters right before the end of the season? Right? Does that make sense? And what if he's moving along so fast that you do let him face live hitters in a practice setting before the end of the season, and then where it says they're going to shut him down until next year, and he pitches good, and you need help? I mean, doesn't pitching win championships? That's what they say. Look, and I might be the only one talking about this thing, but I feel like there's a big opportunity, and I feel like every day that a pitcher like Bobby Miller does what he does, or someone else implodes or explodes or has a problem, I feel like it gets closer and closer to Ohtani taking the mound at some point during the postseason or at the end of the season. And I know that's a stretch, but why are they going to have him face live hitters before the end of the season? Really? If you had no plans to use him at all this year, at all, postseason at all, would you really let him face live hitters, let's say with like a week left in the season, like just a chance that something can happen? I don't think you do that. I really don't think you do that. But that's neither here nor there. That's my opinion there. All right, Michael Peterson gets the call up. Who's Michael Peterson? 30-year-old rookie right-hander. He's got a 4.50 ERA with 8 strikeouts in 12 innings over 9 appearances out of the Dodgers bullpen this season. His numbers with OKC, though, were more impressive as he posted, 1.64 ERA? That's pretty awesome. It's not awesome. 44 Ks over 33 innings. He did that at AAA this season. So he comes up, goes to the bullpen to help. Bullpen's been pitching good, so I don't really have a thing against the bullpen. I don't feel like the bullpen's doing what they need to be. Okay, let's talk schedule. This is important. I feel that right now the schedule favors the Dodgers for the remainder of the season. Right? And you're like, Brad, what do you mean by that? Okay? Here's what I mean by that. Let's take a look at the schedule. The Arizona and the LA games, they're in the past now. So look at Cleveland right there. So you have to look at the numbers that we have left in the season, or the games. 22 games are left. 12 of those games are home. So you have an edge right now by 2 extra home games, okay? Now here's where this is in the Dodgers' favors. Look at how many times they face Colorado, right? 6 times you face Colorado. 6 out of 22 games you're facing Colorado. What place are they in? Last place. That means you need to beat the teams you're supposed to beat, and Colorado is a team that you're supposed to beat, and you face them 6 times. So I feel like that right there, check that off the list. That's in the Dodgers' favor. Do good against Colorado. Take 5 of 6, and that's pretty awesome. Once again, it's not awesome. Okay, now you also face 3 against Miami. See that in the middle right there, 17th, 18th, and 19th? Miami's in last place, okay? You're in Miami. Have fun, not too much fun, but then you take care of business. You definitely take 2 or 3 of those or sweep Miami there because there's no reason not to. They're in last place. You can beat them. That's not a thing. So that right there, if you look at that, Miami in last place, Colorado in last place. Those are 2 teams, and you face Colorado 6 times. Where it really kind of starts for them is you look at Cleveland, and Cleveland's in first place. So 3 games against Cleveland starting tomorrow. That's really important right there. Those 3 games are so important. Like, can you imagine if the Dodgers would come out and do good in those 3 games? Like, what if you take 2 or 3? What if you take all 3 at Dodger Stadium just being pumped before the Cubbies come in, right? That's a good way to start the season. So that's how I look at it. 22 games left in the season. 12 are going to be home games, 10 away. 6 against last place Colorado, 6 games, and 3 against Miami. So that's 9 games out of 22 against last place opponents. If that does not favor the Dodgers, what does? All right? Hit the subscribe button on Dodgers Digest. Mike Nelson and I, we keep throwing down new content for you daily, and I keep seeing those subscribers keep going up, up, up. Let's take it through the roof. That's going to do it. Dodgers Digest. I'm Brad J. Always remember to think blue. We'll see you next time.